Hello everyone, my name is Claire Biot. I'm the Vice President for Life Sciences Industry at Dassault Systèmes. I would like to congratulate Technia for organizing this wonderful event about life sciences today and thank them for the opportunity to share with you the life sciences strategy from Dassault Systèmes. I would like to start with the most important message. We share the same mission as our customers, as you watching this presentation. We help saving patients' lives or improving patients' lives. And doing that, we know that there are more and more clinical unmet needs in the world, and there is also a commitment of all nations in the world to achieve universal healthcare coverage. So if we want to do that sustainably, it's putting a lot of pressure on life sciences companies' shoulders to innovate, but it's also putting a lot of pressure on the healthcare systems. And in this slide, we're showing a couple of examples of what our customers do, from innovative drug design, moving to advanced generation of therapeutics, to remote monitoring, advanced diagnostics, prosthetics, etc. And importantly, we believe that we can help you do even better and faster with that shared mission of saving and improving lives. So who are we at Dassault Systèmes to do that? Well, we have a profound belief that virtual worlds extend and improve the real world. Why so? Because if you can simulate and evaluate the impact of a product before producing it itself, it changes the way you can think and imagine and be creative. And that's what we have been doing. We have catalyzed the world's greatest industrial transformations over the past 40 years. It started with designing 3D models of important product pieces in the early 80s. And then these pieces came together at the end of the 80s to build what was going to be called a digital mock-up of a product. And it allowed to simulate the complete engineering context of that virtual model, starting with aircrafts or cars. Then time was brought into the equation to build what was going to be called the 3D product lifecycle management system, where you connect 3D data across the whole enterprise from design all the way to recycling. In 2012, we made an important switch. We realized that it's not the product that matters, but the usage that the consumer is going to make of it, the experience for the end consumer. And we shifted our mindset towards that experience world, enabling the consumer to be at the heart of participative product development. And last but not least, last February, our CEO revealed that we were entering into a new phase. We call it moving from the representation of things to life. What does it mean? Well, can you imagine being able to model, test, as you can do for an aircraft or plane? It's what we call the virtual twin experience of humans. And we're going to discuss that further today. One of the emblematic move of that new phase is our acquisition of Medidata that was closed last October. And that gives us a unique cross-domain advantage in life sciences and healthcare. We're now the #1 tech vendor with more than 8,000 active customers, including all top 20 pharmas and medtech companies, all top contract research organizations. In terms of volumes, it means that more than half of the drugs and medical devices that are on the market today have been designed with our solutions, and more than half of the new clinical trials are supported by our solutions. We also have important and strategic partnerships with key regulators or industrial consortium across the world. And doing that allows us to generate a unique and gigantic set of data on which we are able to create information intelligence for our customers. And it also gives us a reach to the broader healthcare ecosystem with more than 6 million patients connected to our solutions, about 50,000 physicians and 20,000 hospitals. And to do that, we are now at Dassault Systèmes more than 4,000 professionals who share a common purpose and a common passion for science and, of course, life sciences. And we have also invested massively in that sector, Medidata acquisition being the most recent and most emblematic one, but we also deeply invest in R&D with that long track record of reducing the distance between virtual and physical worlds. So now, who do we serve and what are the solutions that we propose to our customers? We see the healthcare ecosystem in 3 main segments. life sciences companies that come either as pharmaceutical and biotech companies or medical devices and equipment companies, and healthcare providers and the remaining part of the ecosystem that we call patient care. Importantly, our strategy is based on the products that our customers create, molecular therapies and medical devices, of course, for life sciences companies, but more and more also digital therapeutics, so high-quality software programs that help manage, prevent, or treat a disease, healthcare services on the side of healthcare providers. Most of our customers today are life sciences companies, but we have important research programs to define solutions for healthcare providers as well. What we observe is that to solve unmet clinical needs, more and more these different products made by our customers are going to combine. A drug and a medical device will be an injector for example, insulin pen or more sophisticated devices, but more and more you see apps or digital therapeutics coming on top of that to help with patient adherence or patient coaching. And you can also think about healthcare services added. We have, for example, on this slide, BioSerenity, who's providing shirts with sensors that are connected to remote physicians to provide advice and diagnosis. And that means that complexity is increasing all along the value creation chain. So how do we help our customers along that value creation chain? Well, there are 4 levers on which we can play, and you see that we play on 4 of them. The first one is improving R&D productivity, which means being faster to market, but also means that you can increase the probability of success of your new combined therapy. The second lever is to act on the costs. Improve your bottom line by reducing the cost of R&D, the cost of non-quality, but also the cost of manufacturing. The third one is improving the sales. And if you can be faster to launch on market, if you can reach more patients, more markets at start, this is going to improve your reach. And the fourth lever is how to extend the use of your solution. It includes extending the usage, indications, extending to new markets, or providing an additional companion app so that you're going to target your patients and foster patient adherence better. How do we help our customers? Well, for us, it's important to understand what are the top questions and challenges that they face so that we help them solve them. And if we think about it, there are 5 main questions that they have to solve if they want to bring new therapeutics or new diagnostics solving unmet medical needs to the market. The first one is, how do I improve my understanding of the disease or the patient and physician needs? Second is, all the way in the innovation cycle, can I make better go, no-go decisions so that I'm more predictive in how I'm bringing the solution to market? The third one is, of course, improving speed and success of tests and trials. But down the chain, there is also a complexity in the way you're going to manufacture and manage the supply chain of your product. So there, if you can improve agility, productivity, and quality, it's very important. And finally, you want to demonstrate value to regulators so that you get authorization, payers so that you get the fair premium that you are expecting for your solution, physicians so that they prescribe or use your solution, and patients so that they adhere to your solution. Having understood that, how do we want to position ourselves? What do we want to stand for our customers? Well, if I have to summarize it in one single sentence, we want to provide life sciences companies and to professionals who work in these companies with a scientific and business platform for them to imagine sustainable innovations capable of improving patients and physician experience in the age of precision health. And how do we do that? Well, with a portfolio of solutions that span all along the innovation cycle. With high impact innovation, we support open innovation from market intelligence to ideas gathering and early prototyping and validation. With collaborative scientific innovation, which is a solution we released early in the year, we provide a cloud-based workspace that makes science social while managing the underlying knowledge and data to support globally networked R&D. With Design to Cure, we unify predictive science and experimental execution as a way to accelerate therapeutic design and development. Moving down that line, and you will see that this portfolio is really focused on that drug-device combination product that I was mentioning in my introduction. So once you have done that early research step, you want to develop both your molecular therapy and your device. For the molecular therapy development, with one lab, we transform laboratory compliance, efficiency, and collaboration. In the medical device space, we help engineers collaborate on multi-scale, multi-physics simulation to accelerate that development and improve the reliability of the device. And doing so, we have a total quality approach with our license to cure solution that will span the entire innovation cycle, connecting quality across the entire enterprise and providing a data-driven approach to regulatory processes. In green, you see a solution provided by Medidata, and what we do with them is we come with a broad range of solutions encompassing clinical study design, data management, clinical operations, and clinical insights to accelerate value, reduce risk, and improve the outcome for the patient. In the manufacturing space, we help our customers reimagine engineering, scheduling, operations as a way to achieve manufacturing excellence with a special focus on biologic processes. And in the field of commercialization, we help our customers demonstrate value to regulators, providers, payers, and patients. Importantly, to provide the entire value, we are convinced that the power of Medidata, coming with advanced analytics and patient data, is going to strongly combine with our DNA in terms of modeling and simulation, and we're excited about that journey. I'm going to provide a few more details about two domains in which we are particularly engaged with Technia, and I'm going to highlight it with short demos. You will see, and I will start with the medical device development. Here you see that at that stage, requirements are created, and they can be edited and reviewed directly from a dashboard in an intuitive way. Then you move to the design step, and using SolidWorks, which is a very well-known CAD system, and Gianpaolo is going to present more about that, powerful functionalities and ease of use. You then move to systems engineering, and it's all the more important that now connected devices are combining different systems, and we end up with multi-physics, multi-discipline simulations, including a drop test that we just saw. You can compare different pump configurations using fluidics simulation, and you're gonna also use virtual human modeling so that you can understand how the patch of the injector is going to stick to the skin for 2 to 3 weeks, which was the use case we defined. And finally, you can also run electromagnetic simulation. Here we are simulating the impact of the Bluetooth antenna in terms of and checking compliance with legal requirements. I'm gonna move to another step, which is total quality, in which we're deeply engaged with Technia. And you know that today product information is highly fragmented, which leads in risk of non-quality, non-compliance, but also high inefficiency and poor productivity in project management. So here what we see is that project stakeholders can have full access to the product definition. They can view and track changes in the design history file. They can review the links with the requirements, and they can manage the project timelines. We will then move to the change management, and here what you will see is that we can create dashboards that contain critical information so that you can clearly access to the status of projects or of change implementations. And doing that, we provide a comprehensive approach to quality, regulation, and compliance so that you will have data-wide integrity, and you're gonna accelerate decision-making and project execution. So I now want to highlight some success cases we've had with our customers so that you understand what we do in the field concretely. And I will start with 2 examples that are really focused on that drug device combination product and how we have been leveraging collaborative scientific simulation. The first biopharma I'm going to mention wanted to optimize their delivery device for biologics, and they were really inspired by this ISO demo that I introduced you to earlier. And they wanted that that simulation would be made widely available across the enterprise. The second example is another biopharma company, a large biopharma company, who wants to optimize drug delivery across the blood-brain barrier. And to do that, they do not only need to simulate the drug and the product and the device, but they also need to simulate this blood-brain barrier. And so what they are doing with us is modeling that blood-brain barrier, bringing human real-world data to personalize the model, and so that they can run biomechanical simulation. The second example, I'm just going to align this deep partnership with Technia and with B. Brown to implement a worldwide product lifecycle management with up to 14,000 users. And what B. Brown wanted to do here is to bring innovative medical devices faster to patients and physicians while reducing costs. And they have to do that with an increasingly complex portfolio of devices and drugs. And they have realized that to do that, they really need to connect people, processes, and data across the entire enterprise. And do that in a context where regulatory compliance is important, but there is a shifting environment, and that they want to share data across the enterprise so that you reduce waste of data and rework. I also want to highlight one example that's more focused on pharma and molecular therapy development. We are very excited to help our customer move to advanced therapeutics. And I could have taken a lot of examples of one lab implementations in 2019, but I chose one example that's implementing it for cell and gene therapies. Very importantly, you need to move from the bedside to the bench, back to bedside in very constrained time slots. And it's not only biopharmas that are our customers, but also research hospitals that are deeply involved in that field. And what we're providing that world-renowned pediatric hospital is a paper-free electronic work environment that helps them be much faster in the development and the manufacturing of the patient personalized therapy, but they also have reduced batch review cycles with a review by exception approach. And last but not least, I didn't want to give this presentation today without talking about COVID. There have been massive ways and many numerous ways in which we have been involved in that field. We have helped our customers with therapeutic design and drug repurposing. Here, just one example. If you can model the viral proteins, you can then come with libraries of existing drug compounds to see which one have the best probability of blocking the active site of these viral proteins and block viral replication. We have been collaborating with academics to do that, offering them Discovery Studio for free for 6 months. More than 100 academics are now doing that. Another example is how can you help hospitals manage their patients and the wave of patients coming with COVID by simulating air flow contamination of viral particles. And we have been doing that in China, in France, and many other countries. Can you be quick in repurposing or improving in manufacturing devices to meet the demand for critical equipment? We have been collaborating with many companies and academics in the world, leveraging the power of collaboration and sharing models and simulations across our open COVID community to help manage critical supply distribution or help adapt some devices to a wave of demand. Here you see, for an example of one splitter valve transformed in a 4-splitter valve and simulating how the airflow would go through that, or sharing open models across the community so that hospitals could meet with the demand. I also want, of course, clinical trials are also impacted by COVID. Patients are not able to see their doctors as they used to, and so 3 things were very important for pharma companies in terms of clinical trials. The first thing is, can I monitor the situation so that I can assess and anticipate the impact of COVID on my ongoing trials? The second is, can I act on the trial design, so that I limit the impact of COVID? So you can do that by shifting from some countries to other countries in terms of site selection. You can try to reduce the number of interactions between the patient and the doctor by moving to remote connections, or you can shift to in silico arms, which are called synthetic control arms, so that you reduce the number of patients involved in the trial. And of course, we also helped our customer act on the supply of the clinical treatments to try and minimize the shortages and manage the risk and ensure the high quality of running trials. So if I summarize what I've shown you today, and if I really think about benefits for our customers, we are deeply committed to help our customers improve patient experience and support their sustainable, the company's sustainable growth objectives. And we do that by acting both on the top line and the bottom line. And these numbers are based on customer value engagements that we have done and voice of the customer. And what we see in terms of improvement of the top line is that you can go up to 20 to 35 months reduction of time to market, and also a 30% increase in probability of success. In terms of bottom line, we can help our customers cut their operational costs, but we can also help them reduce risk in quality by about 25%. I just want to open the discussion to a more forward thinking about healthcare system, because I know it's going to be important for the panel discussion later in the morning. And so I just wanted to tell you a bit more about what we mean by a virtual twin experience of humans. We really have an approach that, as for many other industries that we serve, is going to be multi-scale, from the atomic and physical scale to the population scale, and multidiscipline, taking into account that each specialty, each discipline is going to have its own complexity. And what we want to do here is really build multi-physics, multi-scales models that will help us answer questions. So the most advanced model that we have is the Living Heart, which was born a few years ago as a consortium between academics, cardiovascular researchers, practicing cardiologists, universities, and medical devices companies. And we can help our customers doing drug safety tests, medical device design, and other applications. One derived application was presented earlier, but very proudly, we also are now engaged in virtual clinical trials with the FDA. We have announced that last July, and what we're doing here is that we want to demonstrate that using modeling and simulation can help you run part of your clinical trial in silico and avoid some of the steps that you would do with animals and preclinical testing, so that you accelerate time to market and you reduce the risk of your trials. We have selected the mitral valve regurgitation as a disease model and the repair device as a test model, and we are working as a consortium towards that. So more to discuss at the panel discussion. And with that, I want to thank you for your attention, and I will be happy to take any questions through the chat window. Thank you again, and have a good day. Enjoy the event.